Good evening. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. In tonight's lesson, we're going to explore meditations for love, and that also help us to experience the wisdom of letting go. The production of these webinars and live streams and videos and podcasts and blogs and class materials is supported by the generosity of viewers and listeners and readers just like you. So what I'm going to do is a quick like a bunny. Open up tonight's practice text. The recommended reading for tonight's text is the blog entitled Count Dooku's Taunts. The quickest way to find the blog is to go to the description area below the live stream. You can use the link to go to the free downloads page. Everything on the page is free. I sell nothing. Everything is free, although donations are always welcome. And by the way, this practice text is also available for download. And what's important to know is that it has been formatted to be read horizontally upon one's smartphone, whether it's Android or iOS. But it is a PDF, and I strongly urge you to use the free app, the free Kindle app, to read a PDF. It makes it infinitely easier to navigate and to bookmark, and it will, quite frankly, keep you from losing your shit. Because losing your temper in the name of meditating is like making love in the name of virginity. As we gaze upon this title, the title page of this section, we read, wishing love for all feelings. Well, that seems weird. What do we mean by that? It was Gautama, the monk, who earned the nickname the Buddha, who first invented mindfulness meditation approximately 25 centuries ago. Please excuse my allergies. I've been allergic to Southern California all my life, but now I cough and people are terrified. The Buddha noticed that the results of mindfulness meditation are much superior to those of concentration. Concentration is rigid. Mindfulness is flexible, open and vulnerable to everything, external and internal, pleasurable and painful, things perceived, things imagined, things recalled, emotions and intentions and thoughts, and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! In order to chart the chaos, the Buddha organized the objects of meditation into 4 categories, because it's good to have a hook to hang your hat on. What are those 4 categories? Those 4 bases or foundations or baskets of mindfulness? They are body and feelings and mind and phenomena, also known as circumstance. And so it's most empowered to practice love in harmony with the four bases of mindfulness. And so what we're practicing right now is love for, whereas we're orienting ourselves towards emotions, towards our experience of the interpersonal. There is a ridiculous myth that if we were truly spiritual, we would need nothing and nobody. But that myth is not grounded in science. For whether you look at the large of cosmology or the small of quantum physics, we see a vast net of interdependence. And the Buddha spoke of this. So it should come as little surprise that the Buddha said that what we feel does not determine who we are. It is neither a validation nor an indictment. So the very fact that we value our relationships with others is a symptom of our midbrain, common to all healthy mammals. Look at humans. Look at us. We are not fast or strong compared to other animals. We are not sharp of claw or long of fang. The secret to our survival was cooperation. Therefore, in our brain, our midbrain is connected to our reward system of serotonin. And we are our happiness when we are in cooperation with others. Therefore, this meditation for love is not necessarily about the generation of a feeling, but the generation of a phenomena where we sincerely give a flying fuck about others. This is not purely emotion, because emotions come and go, and really there's no controlling them. And if you try to control them, bad stuff's going to happen. It's about our intention. When our midbrain forms a partnership with our forebrain, we can be rather clever. However, when our brain stem, when our brain stem forms a partnership with our forebrain, we can be quite clever. But when our midbrain forms a partnership with our forebrain, we can be quite wise. And wisdom, my friends, wisdom always trumps cleverness in the long run. So we turn to the page of our virtual sadhana. And we see words all over the page. It's like the Grinch. Noise. But instead it's with words. Well, notice that some lettering is large or font and other lettering is in smaller font. The smaller font serves as a type of contemplative notation, just like musical notation. The larger font is used for the words that we will actually recite to ourselves silently and mentally. Yes, we already know how to recite things verbally with our vocal cords and our jaw and our lips and our teeth. We know how to verbally communicate words so that others can hear them with their ears. But we also know how to talk to ourselves silently, mentally, in the auditorium of our imagination, where we get to pretend we are a Rod Serling or a Sigourney Weaver or a Morgan Freeman. During our in-breath, we shall silently and mentally recite, "Love for these feels." Feels is a colloquial way of saying feelings or emotions. Why use a monosyllabic synonym? Because in silent meditation, we practice an economy of syllables. Too many syllables, you turn blue, tip over, wiggle funny, frighten the dog, and annoy the cat. Now let's look at this word right here. These. It refers to us. It refers to our feelings. Hey, if we wish good things for ourselves, won't that make us selfish? Don't worry. We already are selfish. In our brainstem, symbolized here by my fist, we are already wired to look out for numero uno. But we can use that momentum of wishing well for ourselves, the way a sprinter would use his starting blocks to gain leverage and push ourselves forward. And we can parlay the momentum of self-centered love into the momentum of local love, and then global love, and then universal love. Anyone who has survived junior high knows what it's like to have to do 3 sets of jumping jacks, 10 repetitions each. Well, we're going to count sets and reps on the creases of our hands. Sets on our left hands, repetitions on our right hands. Yes, someone could use a mala, but malas can get broken or lost or stolen or confiscated in the age of fascism. Let's face it, if our fingers are confiscated, we're in a heap of trouble. So as we read the contemplative notation, we see touch tip of left thumb to left middle finger's higher set of creases. Not the lower set, not the middle set, but the higher set of creases. Count the 4 breaths, for it says, let's try that again, for it is written right here that we're going to practice 1 set of 4 breaths. So let us count those 4 breaths upon the lower and middle and higher sets, and then tip of our right little finger, remembering to only advance our thumb, our right thumb, during our in-breath. Which brings me to breathing. This is not pranayama. We are not controlling the shallowness or depth or slowness or speed of our breathing. We're not controlling our breathing. We are not concentrating our breathing. We are simply noticing our breathing passively, non-analytically. And when we notice that we're breathing in, then we shall silently and mentally recite love for these feels. And on the out-breath, we shall silently and mentally recite relaxing. We are already wired, due to evolutionary biology, to relax in harmony with each exhalation. By silently and mentally reciting the word relaxing, in harmony with our out-breath, we are harmonizing our intention with our factory-installed programming, so that we might get out of our own way. Now you might say, listen, dude, I'm not Merlin the Magician. I ain't Gandalf the Grey. I can't make myself be loving. No, you cannot. But you can intend it. And we guide our intention with words, verbal or mental. And so we are using these words to guide our intention that our feelings, our emotions might be more loving. Let's play with this right now for just 4 breaths. Now, I recommend resting each hand, palm up upon its respective thigh, near its knee. I lift my right hand up and display it on the camera just so that it's easier for you to follow along. Now, I'll be breathing faster than you because I'm doing all this jibber-jabbering. Love for these feels relaxing. We turn now to the second exercise of this set. Love for neighbors. So we are wishing, we are intending that our neighbors experience more love for other beings. Who? And by the way, you'll notice that on the previous screen, in the brackets, there was a choice. We could, oopsie, just hit the wrong button. There we go. We could use the phrase, these feels, or some. What's the deal? Well, we use the choice on the right if we want to get drowsy, like if we have insomnia. But most of the time, when we don't want to be drowsy, we use the choice on the left. And the same holds true on this exercise too. So love for neighbors, relaxing. But who? Who are our neighbors? Any living being that we can perceive with any one or more of our five senses. Wherever we go, whoever we perceive is our neighbor, which of course makes the thought of tribalism or competition or jingoism or classism or sexism or racism utterly absurd. So let's count now upon the three creases and tip of our right ring finger. Love for neighbors, relaxing. We turn now to our third exercise of this set. We prepare to count upon the three creases and tip of our right middle finger. Love for earthlings, relaxing. And by the way, the Buddha taught that there were 11 literal or figurative benefits from practicing loving kindness. It is arguably, he described it as a panacea, as a cornucopia of good fortune. So in other words, when we train our heart and mind to sincerely wish good things for others, we're freed from the burden of trying to manifest good things for ourselves. We can get in a playful competition with the universe. Who can outgive who? And I assure you, the universe will always outgive you. Come, let us count upon our right middle finger. A love for earthlings, relaxing. But first, let us remind ourselves what an earthling is. An earthling is every living being that walks or crawls or swims or flies upon this planet, above this planet, within the crust of this planet, within the oceans of this planet. There are so many benefits to loving kindness. All metaphysics aside, for more than 100 years, humanity has used its cleverness, but not its wisdom, to create technologies and industries and weapons to make the murder of humans and humans' environments more and more efficient a task. If humanity is to survive, we must transition from a brainstem-oriented species to a midbrain-oriented species. from cruelty and competition to empathy and cooperation. This is why we train in love. It's good for us. It's good for everyone else. It's good for the environment. If we are serious about becoming men and women of compassion and love, then we simply must, excuse me, then we simply must stop paying other people to kill other living beings so that we can enjoy eating their bodies or their eggs or their milk. So we can stop exploiting them for their talents or their entertainment value. What I'm referring to is a whole food vegan lifestyle. Now, this might be scary, this might be overwhelming, but the price of compassion is to stop harming other living beings to the best of our ability. Good news is, adopting a whole food vegan diet is actually the healthiest diet for us and the planet. So that's pretty cool. In the description area below the live stream, you'll find an invitation to search YouTube for Mike the Vegan. And I've even spelled out the unique spelling of his channel's moniker. At that channel, you will find all the resources you need to enter the vegan lifestyle and thrive upon it. Now, let's get back to meditation. Counting upon our right middle finger. Love for earthlings. Relaxing. This brings us to the fourth and final exercise of this set, which we will count upon the 3 creases and tip of our right index finger. Love for all beings, relaxing. Oh, so this is where it's great. It pays off to be a sci-fi geek. Love for all beings, of all worlds, of all solar systems, of all galaxies, of all universes, real or imagined, past, present, or future. Love for all beings, relaxing. We have completed our first of 2 sets for this evening. We're now wishing wisdom for all minds. As you probably inferred in the previous live stream, we were wishing good things for all circumstances and for all bodies. Now, for all minds. This means wisdom. It's more than the wisdom we speak is more than merely the cleverness to create a longer lasting light bulb. Although that's great, and I'm a huge cheerleader for folks studying and practicing science, technology, engineering, and math. All hail the STEM folks. What we're speaking here is the wisdom that comes from the midbrain cooperating with the forebrain. Not necessarily the cleverness to create a more efficient killing machine, but the wisdom to create a more efficient healing machine. The wisdom of letting go. Now you'll notice that in all these exercises, we're relaxing during the out-breath. Relaxing physically leads to releasing mentally, and it is arguably the quintessence of wisdom practices, of the wisdom of letting go. So we've already been practicing the union of love and letting go, and we're going to continue. So first thing we do is advance the tip of our left thumb to our left index finger's higher set of creases. And once again, it's kind of like when we consider the three nesting spheres of self and neighbors and earthlings and all beings, it's kind of like Russian nesting dolls. I think they're called matryoshka. My Russian's very bad. So let's begin with ourselves. Wise for this mind, relaxing. And we're beginning with our right little finger. We proceed now to our right ring finger, wise for neighbors, relaxing. Our job is neither to suppress our thoughts, nor indulge our thoughts, nor analyze our thoughts, or even label our thoughts. We play with these techniques when thoughts or sensations come up. We're aware of them, and on the out-breath, we relax into them. Not shoving them away, not pulling them close, just relaxing into release. We come now to our third exercise of our second and final set, which we shall count upon our right middle finger, wise for earthlings, relaxing. This brings us to our final exercise tonight, which we shall count upon our right index finger, wise for all beings, relaxing. That's right, we want all beings to cease to be Ferengi and instead be Vulcans, or perhaps Betazoids. Wise for all beings, relaxing. That concludes the guided meditation portion of tonight's live stream. If you have any questions, type them in the chat area. If you're watching a replay of this and have questions, type them in the comment area. I'll do my best to get back to them either in a live stream or a blog post. So now let's jump to the end of the text. So I'm going to take a moment to insult your intelligence and just read to you. Not a sprint, but a stroll. The path of mastering, the Buddha's teachings, is not a sprint, but a stroll. At first, content yourself to meditate for 5 minutes every morning and for 5 minutes every evening, as doing so could reap greater benefits and enduring a 60-minute sitting session once a month, or even once a week. 4. A humble, consistent, twice daily practice will always trump an inconsistent practice, heroic in effort, yet sporadic in frequency. Just as drop by drop, a cavern's great stalactites are formed. Rest assured that if at first we cultivate a practice merely 5 minutes in length, but repeating every 12 hours or so, then it is only a matter of time before circumstances shift and ability grows, and spontaneously we find ourselves meditating 20 or 40 or even 60 minutes twice daily. And shortly thereafter we could find that we have memorized the practice text effortlessly, effectively, and spontaneously. What could you do when hour-long meditations, free of the need to read a manual, have become your habit, easy and pleasurable and transformative? Going to take a moment to fiddle with the controls here. Let's see, let me subject you to this grotesquerie. If you're as geeky as me and you've seen the first season of Witcher, then I shall quote Jasker to you. Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty. During this time of pandemic and sexism and racism and classism and fascism and jingoism and speciesism and ecocide, may you and yours be happy and healthy.